is a great time to plant a garden. It is now January and I am so excited to start my garden this year. One of the things that I do to prepare for the gardening season is to plan when to start my seeds indoor. In this video, I will share with you my process of deciding when to start planting the seeds. Hi everyone, my name is Merly and welcome to Gardening in Kentucky YouTube channel. Over the years, I have created an Excel sheet where I write down the information of the plants that I grow in my garden. This includes the time when I start growing the seeds indoor or if I direct sow the seeds in the ground. So I prepared this little sheet of paper. This is for this year, 2022. Every year, I update this document depending on my last frost date. The last frost date is the average date for the last light freeze in the spring. This date is an estimate of the last day that your area will possibly have a light freeze, which is based on some data that has been collected over the years. So what I do is I go to almanac.com/gardening/frost dates. If you scroll down just a little bit, you will see a box where you can type in your zip code. So go ahead and type in your zip code in that little box, and you click on the button next to it, and the website will give you an estimate of your last frost date. In Kentucky, however, the weather is very interesting and very unpredictable because there were times when we still got some freezing temperatures after the last frost date. So although the last frost date is very useful in determining when to start your seeds indoor, I don't usually take my plants outside right after my last frost date. In Kentucky, we say that the safest time to bring your plants outdoor is after the Kentucky Derby Day. And I believe that's gonna be around May 7th this year. So now I'm gonna give you an example on how I estimate the time when I start my seeds indoor. What I do is I look at the information in the seed packet. So if you look at the back of this seed packet has the planting instructions. It tells us how many days it takes to germinate the seeds, days to harvest, and some other data. It also gives us the planting instructions. So, for example, for this bell pepper, it says you have to start the seeds indoors 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. So, for my area, my last frost is April 11th this year. So, what I do is I count 6 to 8 weeks backward from my last frost date, and that's when I start this seed. Depending on the type of plants that you want to grow, it is always important to pay attention to the instructions in the seed packet. For example, for many tomatoes, we usually start the seeds about 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost date. However, some varieties of tomatoes might have different times. So, for example, this beefsteak tomato can be started indoors 5 to 7 weeks before planting outdoors. The Amish paste tomato that I have says 5 to 7 weeks before planting outdoors. So they're the same. Now this one right here is called an early cascade tomato. And let's look at the back. It says start indoors 8 to 12 weeks before last frost. And then let's have one last example. And this one is Roma tomato. And this one is a wonderful tomato to have, especially if you want to make spaghetti sauce. Oh, this is so yummy. And of course, for fresh eating, it's also good. And it says here 5 to 7 weeks before planting outdoors. So my suggestion is to read the label or the information in the seed packet so you will have an idea on when to start the seeds indoor. Sometimes whenever you have so many seeds to plant, it's kind of hard to remember all of these dates. So I created a chart on when I start these seeds. This chart that I am showing you right now is part of the Excel document that I created where I wrote down the information of the plants that I grow in my garden. I started this document in 2016, and each year around January I update the information based on my area's last frost date. I garden in Zone 7, Western Kentucky. And this year, based on the information from almanac.com, my last frost date is April 11th. This document contains the plant name in the first column, and then right here, I put the number of weeks to start seeds before setting out, when to start inside, the safe time to set out plants relative to frost-free date. Setting out date is when I take my plants outside. I also listed the days to germination and the days to harvest. For example, broccoli Waltham 29. So this is a variety of broccoli, and according to the seed packet, I need to start the seeds indoor about 4 to 6 weeks before I set it outside. And so, based on this information, I know that my target date would be between February 28th to March 14th. And then the safe time to set out the plants is 2 weeks before my last frost. Why do I plant it outside 2 weeks before my last frost? Broccoli is a cool weather plant and it can take a light frost. And then setting out date with this information again is from March 28 to April 11. Let's have another example. Eggplant, the long purple type of eggplant, has to be started indoors 8 to 10 weeks before planting it outside. So based on this information, the best time for me to plant my eggplant seeds indoor is between February 14th to February 28th. And then the next column tells me when is the safe time to set out my plants. So for the eggplant, it's 2 to 3 weeks after the last frost. And the reason for this is that the eggplant is a warm weather plant, and it will not really do much growing if you plant it outside when the soil temperature is still cold. And next one right here is the setting out date. So 2 to 3 weeks after my last frost date would be April 25th up to May 2nd. As you can see, this chart is not yet complete with the information of all the plants that I listed. I am still in the process of updating this document. I do have some additional plants that I need to enter in this Excel spreadsheet, and I hope to complete that real soon. In my next video, I will show you the completed plan for my seed planting. I hope this video provides you some good information that will help you start your seeds indoor. If you enjoyed this video or if you found value in this video, click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching and see you next time.